In this video, you can win 1,000 kroners in charging from Elton. More on that later. In this video, we are finding out how far the Audi RS E-Tron GT can go on a full charge of battery. With a WLTP rated range of 472 kilometers, it doesn't sound like much. But the 1J platform that underpins this car and the Porsche Taycan has impressed in earlier tests, and is actually the car that comes closest to its WLTP rated range, a lot closer than any other car. But the question today is, will the RS E-Tron GT impress in the RS version on 21-inch wheels and on winter tires? We are finally back in one of my absolute favorite electric cars, or one of my absolute favorite cars, period. The Audi E-Tron GT, and this time we're in the top trim RS E-Tron GT with 600 horsepower. And for you guys who are new here, the Audi E-Tron GT is one of my absolute favorite electric cars, if not cars, period. This is such an awesome car. It's so beautiful on the outside, on the inside, it drives great. And yeah, I just love this car, and I actually owned one of these a few years ago. So I had a few press cars on loan throughout 2021. I absolutely fell in love with this car, and come August I went out and bought one, and a few days after I took delivery, I drove it like 6,000 kilometers through Europe to the south of Germany and just had a blast and did a lot of road trips. So if you want to see those videos, I'll link them down below. I have a really nice playlist where I take my E-Tron GT from Norway down to Germany and back again, doing all kinds of testing at lower speeds, at higher speeds, on the Autobahn. Yeah, this is an absolute weapon of a car, and I'm testing this for a few reasons. So first off, they actually stopped selling the RS E-Tron GT as of this week because there is a facelift version coming this summer. They have been dropped a few videos on YouTube with a few camouflage versions and a little bit of testing, so hopefully I'm gonna go to the press launch a little bit later this year and bring you guys the content. So I want to give this, this pre-facelift version a last hurrah, a last goodbye, and just put it to the test so we have it very fresh in memory, how it drives, how the experience is, and also how efficient it is. And I have to say, well, it's cold outside today. It's between 5 and 6 degrees Celsius outside, though it is dry. There's a little bit of snow in the air actually, which is pretty insane. After like 2 weeks of spring weather, we're now back to cold temperatures, even though it's like the end of April. It's really annoying. But what is interesting, after about 15-20 minutes on the road now, we have an average consumption of 22.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which at these temperatures actually is quite impressive. And one of the things that really impressed me about the E-Tron GT, aside from the way it looks, the way it drives, just the overall feeling of experiencing this car, is the efficiency, because this and also the Porsche Taycan are one of the cars that are closest to their WLTP rated range, like in percentage. I think like in summer, my E-Tron GT on 20-inch wheels got like 393 kilometers, which is more than 80% of its claimed WLTP rated range, and no other car comes close to that. And seeing this low consumption in this type of car with these cold temperatures, yeah, this is promising, because especially since we actually do have a headwind of 1 meters per second going northward on the E6 motorway. So guys, I'm excited for this test. I'm excited for my whole week in an RS E-Tron GT, because yeah, I've really missed this car. We're now halfway in the test here in Moelv, and this is where we exit the motorway, we turn around, and then we head back towards Oslo. So thus far, our average consumption is a very impressive and low 22.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. I have to say, considering that it's 5.5 degrees Celsius outside, yes, the weather is pretty decent. I mean, dry roads and not very windy. That is super, super impressive, considering that is basically winter temperatures. And as always, we run these tests in the most efficient mode as possible. In this E-Tron GT, it is called efficiency mode. It does by default set the climate control to eco, but I think it's just a little bit too cold running it in eco, so I've set it to normal. But what it does, it goes rear wheel drive only, so it decouples the front axle, or the front motor rather, and also it puts the car into its lowest suspension setting. And yeah, so far it is really impressive. But now let's see what the consumption will be once we get back, to see if the wind map was correct and we really had a headwind on our way up. Because if we did, that consumption should drop even lower than what we have now. And if it does, yeah, that's just gonna blow my mind. We're now approaching our exit, and then we're gonna stop here, and then we're gonna connect to a charger and see what charging speed we're now getting after 2 hours on the road without preconditioning. That is part of this test where we test the charging speed without preconditioning. We do precondition testing in a different test here on the channel, in the long trip test, but in this test we don't, because we want to test what speed we get without preconditioning. Yes, I've said it a third time now. So we're gonna go to these recharge chargers over here, because 2 of them at least are 225 kilowatts, which are the fastest chargers in this location. And then I'm gonna show you guys the consumption and also the battery percentage we are at now. So all of these are free, are vacant. And yeah, there's a little bit of snow in the air. That is so weird. So let's get as close as possible. There we go. Put it into park, and then I'm going to show you guys the actual consumption here. 23.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So it did climb a little bit, but to be honest, that is not too bad at all. And also to check the percentage, let's exit that, put the car into park, and then we have to go into the home menu, and then we gotta go into car. No, that's not right. No, we gotta go into the home menu, and then, yeah, car. And then, oh, there, charging. Yeah, 26% stated charge. It's really weird because other Audis, like the Q4 E-Tron, actually has a numerical readout here, right below the actual, you know, the manual gauge here, or analog gauge of battery percentage. Weird that they haven't implemented that in this or the Q8 E-Tron. Like with the Porsche Taycan, the charging port is on the passenger side here, on the front fender in the RS E-Tron GT. So we've now connected to the charger, and we're already at 27% stated charge, and you can see that the charging speed is now at 190 kilowatts. Yeah, I don't think that is too bad after driving a few hours on the road with an outside temperature of 5 to 7 degrees Celsius without preconditioning. The peak charging speed of this car should be 270 kilowatts, which this car will, you know, get easily with preconditioning. The way to precondition this car is that you have to put the destination into the navigation system. But as I've demonstrated with this car several times before, because I have owned one and I've done so many trips, is that this will get without a problem. This and also the Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo. And to connect to this charger, we are using the Elton charging app, who are sponsoring today's video. And as I said at the beginning of the video, you can actually win 1,000 kroners in charging if you go to the link down below and then you register your phone number. If you don't have the app, just go download the app and register your phone number. What's cool about this app, it lets you charge at almost all charge point operators in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark with just one charging app. So you register one payment method, and then you have an app that works with almost all charge point operators in all of these countries. So that's a really cool map where you can see the availability of chargers, the vacancy, and also the charging speed. So I use it all the time. I use it across Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. I've used it in all of these countries. So go to the link down below and then try out the Elton charging app, and you can win 1,000 kroners in charging. Now let's take a look at the results and see how the Audi RS E-Tron GT performed under today's conditions in this range test. So we take the usable battery capacity of this car, which is 85 kilowatt hours. We divide it by the consumption, 23.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and then subtract 3% in heat loss. That gives us a theoretical range under today's pretty nice conditions, not very windy, but cold temperatures of between 5 and 7 degrees Celsius of 346 kilometers, or 73% of its claimed WLTP rated range. And if you look at the chart, I think 73% of its claimed WLTP rated range is better than any car in these conditions. And as I said, the E-Tron GT, the non-RS version, has got more than 80% of its WLTP rated range in this test. So I have to say, real world performance of this car almost 350 kilometers. The RS version, the fastest, the least efficient, with 21-inch wheels. I think that is outright impressive. I mean, the J1 platform, this or the Porsche Taycan, just keeps delivering so much better comparatively to its WLTP rated range and claimed efficiency than any other car I test here on the channel. And at this point in time, I think I've done this test like 70 or 80 times in different vehicles. So we have a really solid database to compare against. And yeah, this is so impressive. I mean, the difference in winter and in summer between an E-Tron GT on 20-inch wheels and this RS E-Tron GT on 21-inch wheels is like only less than 50 kilometers. It's so little in percentage. It is so impressive, and I can't wait to test the facelifted version, which gets the more efficient electric motors, the more efficient drivetrain, and also bigger battery pack, because I think that car can easily be the best car we've ever tested in this test. So I'm impressed by the RS E-Tron GT. On paper, it doesn't have the best WLTP rated range at like 472 kilometers, but in the real world, yeah, this is still one of the best electric cars to take on a long trip, especially considering it doesn't only get that efficiency, it's very comfortable. I love the seating position, but it's great to drive and also has one of the fastest charging speeds of any electric car on the market, and that's just going to get faster with the facelift. So guys, let me know what you think down below, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.